Tonight is a special night. It's Isru Chag. Chazal say Isru Chag Bavoisim, Akarnas, Amizbeach. This Yid has to make a special thing in honor of Isru Chag. Did ever wanted in honor of Isru? Amen. In honor of Isru Chag should be a Kinus Torah. Even though in Beis Menachem Mendel we had a Kinus Torah every single night, but someone asked, so he said, okay. Tonight will be a special thing dedicated to the Kinus Torah. And also tonight, those that are learning Rambam are finishing the Sefer of Korbonos and starting the Sefer of Torah. And Ashgoch El Yoina, that the Chumash of this week's parsha is about the halachas of Tuhum Avatara. And not only that, next week too, but we're talking about this week. And not only that, there's a shaykhis. There's a beautiful sicha from here, a connection to the first words, the opening words in the first Pedic in the Sefer Tahara. So quickly, let me read over here in the Rambam. The Rambam finishes the Sefer Korbonos. Very, very important Rambam. The Rambam says, why did the Eibishter make the din of Tmura? The Eibishter said that you're not allowed to change a korban. If you change a korban, this and the other are both Kodesh. So the Rambam says,
I mean, you make a mistake.
If a mistake, I don't know, it's complicated. But if a person does it on purpose, it's simple. So the Rambam says, Afa pisha kol chukei HaTorah gzeir hasem. The Eibishter said, Roi lizboinen vahem. It's worthwhile to think about the halachas. V'kol ma shata yochel liten loitam, tein loitam. If you can find a reason for a mitzvah, try to find a reason for every mitzvah. Try to find. Shlomo Melech tried, understood almost everything. So you should try your best to find a logic in every mitzvah. The Rambam says, Yiru Ali, it would seem to me, the Torah says, V'ayahus maros yeh kodesh. Yorda Torah l'seif machshavas ha'adam k'tzas yisrei hara. The Torah knew the deepest psyche of a human being and the Yetzer Hara. Sheteva shel adam noita laharbes kinyon v'lochas ha'mamoyne. A person cares about his money. He gave a good fat cow. He said, what did I do? This big fat cow. I could sell it for premium. Or I could shecht it. I'll have delicious steak and my barbecue, and instead I'm going to go to the butcher. We're going to some here.
You know that from Yaakov Avinu, Pachim Ktanim. He went cross to get his Pachim.
This guy wants the Pachim Gedolim. No. He wants to have the big...
Chosim and Mamona. That's the...
But this guy is the opposite of a tzaddik. Amra Torah, in Poda La'atzma, Yosef Chaimish. And if he wants to change the cow, we say no. Because we're scared he's gonna take a good cow and exchange it for a bad one, and he's gonna say it's good. So therefore the Torah said, Sosam hakosav lefonav shalo yachle. Uknosa im hechle v'omar v'hoyu hus marosa yeh kodesh. Kol elo advorim kedei lifkoif es yitzroi hara uletaken de yoisa. V'roiv dine ha-Torah einen ela eitze tzmerochik megdoi lo eitze letaken ha-deis uleyasha kol ha-maisa. The Eibishter is giving us eitze how to make us good people. Every mitzvah makes us into a good person. V'chein hu oimer aloi kasavti loch sholishim b'maitzes v'das lo diach kshoit divrei emes lohoshev amorim emes l'shoel checho. Here's a posuk to prove that all the mitzvahs is really there to make a person a good person, a refined person. Silikalu hilchas temura b'siyaita d'shmaya. And we start the next Sefer, Tahara, Leif Tahar, Baroli Likim, V'ruach Nochen, Chadash Begirbu, Hilchas Tumas Meis. As I said, Hilchas Tumas Meis, a lot of it comes from this week's parsha. And specifically, there's a beautiful sicha, and let's get straight into it. Look at the last Aliyah, Shmini. After the long list of all the animals Moshe, there was a zoo. This Cholamoyed, Kinderlach went with the parents to the zoo. But those of Alanichitas was also a zoo. Mazelachem Ator. Moshe held up all the animals. Okay.
Do we see that as actual? Because it would have to be a day of nest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably on that.
Yeah. He didn't hold every single animal. The animals that he mentioned the Torah. So those the 24 Talmudic birds. There wasn't a complete zoo. It wasn't as big as the National Zoo in Washington or the Bronx Zoo, but it was a choshev zoo nonetheless.
The National Zoo in Washington isn't that big.
Oh, okay.
Endangered species.
So look at the pasuk. Elat meim helochem. All these are tamei. B'chol hasharetz kol hanegem b'moiser. In all these shrotzim that are tamei, if you touch them when they're dead, yitma dar. V'chol hashiyipol mem b'moisam. Yitma mekol kli eitz. I beg at the or a sokol kli hashiyosam alochem b'hem b'mayim yuve v'tama dar v'tor. So if they touch a person or they touch a keli, they become tamei. V'kol kli cheres hashiyipol mem b'toiche kol hashiyipol yitma v'aisas hashbayim. If it falls into a klicheres, there's no eight, so you have to break the klicheres. Mikol ochel sheyochel sheyovel of mayim yitma v'chol mashka sheyishosa v'chol kli yitma. If this tumah that touches the food or water, it becomes tamei. But you notice the Torah adds a condition. Mikol ochel sheyochel. What is the next four words? Asher yavoy alav mayim. Only if it got water. Today you go into the store, there's a hechsher from the OK, from the OU, from the Star K, from the Sechta Serabonim, from the Eida Charedas, from Orlando. In halacha terms, what is a hechsher? It's hechsher lekabel tumah. Because a hechsher means that if the water touched this, the apple or the orange or the grape, they could never become tamei unless once after they were cut off the tree, there was water that touched it. If never water touched it, they can never come tamei. When water touches it, it's called a hechsher. Now it's a muchshir lekabel tumah. It's prepared to get tumah. If this apple never touched water, you could put it in the pocket of a dead man. You could take it out 20 minutes later, make a bracha, eitz, and eat it. No problem.
But rain.
Rain?
Rain is water.
No.
Rain will be a problem. Only, there's another condition here, that it has to be cut off the tree. While it's on the tree, the water makes no difference. It's not machshir lekabel tumah. So let's continue. The whole halachas of mikveh comes from this one pasuk, half a pasuk. And I gave him this pasuk.
These are the harder laws to learn, right?
Huh?
The laws of Tahara are one of the hardest laws
Right,
to learn.
right. But if the water falls on something which is still planted, it's still growing from the ground, it's tar. After it was cut off, and let's learn the Rambam. Hilchas tumas ochel, Perek Aleph Hakdama. Tumas ochel mitzvah asay v'yidin tumas ochel mashkem v'chsheiren u'bir mitzvah v'parak meila. Halacha Aleph. Kol ochel amiyuchel ma'ichelodem. Every food that's dedicated for human consumption. Kegon lechem basar anavim zeisim. Human food. U'kayoytza bohem. If it's like bread, meat, fruits, grapes, olives, makabel tumah. If it's not made for human consumption, for dogs, for cats, for fish, it doesn't makabel tumah. If he decided the biscuits from his dog are so delicious he wants to eat it himself, and they happen to have a hechsher, not the real hechsher, that other hechsher, the OK, the OU hechsher. He decides, he dedicates the biscuits now for himself.
They won't go to regular.
So then it becomes miyuchid l'maychel odem, and it could be makabel tumah.
You have to make a bracha?
You have to make a broch on that person in Islamic crazy. Zeh v'zeh.
Yeah, you have to make a book.
V'zeh v'zeh ain't a mekabel tuma. This, either way, there's no tuma. Achi bolel tchila ba'echem meshiva mashkan. It has to first get mixed with one of the 7 liquids. V'zeh nikra hechsher. That's a hechsher. Shenema v'chiyutin mayim al zera.
Is there a time to this?
Oh, that's what we're learning tonight. Leave it for the Rebbe to find the moirid katam. You're gonna lick your fingers and you come out of this. So next halach is ve'elein hashiva mashkin shemachshirin es ha'oichlon latuma. These are the 7 liquids: hamayim, vatal, water, dew, shemen, oil, yayin, wine, v'achol of milk, dam, blood, dvash, oil, honey. Ve'ein machshirin mashipel ha'oichlon berotzen ha'baylam. It has to be that the owner was happy that the water should touch it. But once it became a hechsher lekabel tuma, doesn't matter 1 year later. Toma touches it, it's tummy. Got it? Next.
Well, he has to want it to.
Next payday. Yeah, the owner wants it. If he doesn't want it, he cut the fruits. And they said it's raining. He says, oh, now the apples, I'm going to have to dry those out and put them in the box and they're going to rot. Oh, it's going to cost me another $1,000 to get workers. That rain is not called hashel kabel tuma. If he's planning to make apple cider and it said it rains, great, you don't have to wash the apples. Okay, now the ochel kabel tuma. Ilchas tumas ochel perik beis. There's one more condition. Halacha aleph kol ochel megadelam en akarka inem kabel tuma achi okru. They have to be cut off. Kol man shemuchuborim, if they're still mechubar connected to the tree, afilu kishoydish cotton. One root connects the fruit to the tree or to the ground. Shecholim lichlis menu, but it's the amount that it can still live. Could be it's a little bit connected to the ground, but it can't live anymore. That's cut. But if it's the root still gives chayis, and the fruit can grow from that one root, ein mekabel tuma. That's not. There's no tuma. So to make now a summary, there's 3 basic conditions. It has to be food that's human consumption. It has to have a hechsher, not the okay or the ayu. My uncle used to had a problem with a lot of the hechsherim. It's a mahadrim min a mahadrim. Rabbi Belinov, I spoke about it. Yom Tov. So he said once he was at Rov that he asked him, how do you give a hechsher on this product? So it turned out it was something which was Isser, but it bottled b'shishim. It's a question if you're allowed to give a hechsher or not. So my uncle said, but his main problem was that product had a big sign on it. Mahad had the thing, Mahadrim mina Mahadrim. He said, first of all, Mahadrim mina Mahadrim is only when it comes to Chanukah. And what it says, it's kosher, it's today. It could be glad kosher or kosher. What's Mahadrim Mahadrim? But then, if you're giving a hechsher because Mavatal is said, please don't call it Mahadrim mina Mahadrim. Anyway, but there is a hechsher which is true hechsher. A true hechsher is a water touches a fruit. Now it's muchshel lekabel tuma. Number 3, it has to be disconnected from the ground. Again, 3 conditions for tuma on tumas ochelin. Number 1, it has to be ochel odom, human food. Number 2, it has to have a hechsher, some water on it. Number 3 has to be cut off from the ground.
Is this something from a dead person or dead?
Now, it could touch a dead man, it can touch one of the 8 shrotzim, it could touch a dead cow. It doesn't matter what tumah it'll touch. But in order to become tumah, and then there's different levels of tumah. For tumas meis, there's different level of tumah. But in order for any food to become tumah, it has to have 3 conditions. It has to be human food, it has to have a hechsher, and also it has to be disconnected from the ground. If it's missing one of the 3 conditions, I don't care what tumah it is. If it's a behema, or it's one of the 8 shrotzim, or if it's a corpse of a dead, mach nishtois.
How can we tell today? Do we know today?
Well, today, we don't keep the laws of Tumah V'Tara. But this will be extremely important when Mashiach will come.
Very soon.
Yeah.
What about like a hothouse tomatoes or hothouse something grown in a hothouse. It's not on the ground. It's not in the ground.
Well,
It's been grown outside of the ground.
Right.
Maybe
So
even with just water.
there's a whole question. We have to get into the halachas. It's called the otzitz nokuv, otzitz she'enu nokuv. Not all of them are so. Not all the hot houses are really considered not in the ground, because as long as there's soil there, or even if there's just a little hole at the end of and it connects to the ground, okay, whatever. Let's get to these three halachas. The Rebbe says, what can we learn from this Avodas Hashem? The Rambam says, Kol ma shata yochel litan lo tam, tein lo tam. Give a reason. The Rebbe wants to bring in some more thing. He said, the Rebbe's mahalach was that in every sugya, it doesn't matter how deep a sugya, it could be as vochim and menoches, it could be a chulin, it could be a simple sugya and broches and peya and demai. Always it could be the deepest chiddush. If you remember the Rebbe's Farbrengens, right? At the end there was always a lesson of Avodas Hashem. What can I take away? A lesson in my daily Avodas Hashem. So the Rebbe once said that someone asked him, well, who told you that this is a mahalach, that this is a way of learning? Who told you this is a legitimate way of learning?
Not really, yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. We know there's a letter in the early years, he wrote chidushim to his father. His father wrote that your chidushim are very nice, but I expect that you should find every one of your chidushim that they're also true api Kabbalah and how they add up in Avodas Hashem. So the Rebbe said that yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rebbe said, what's the shayla? It's a pasuk in the Chumash. It's a pasuk mefurish. It says in Veschanan, "Vayitzavena Hashem lasas as kol achukim ochel liyiras Hashem." Everything we do, every Torah we learn, every mitzvah we do is in order to bring Yiras Shamayim. So if you learn a sugya, you machadash a chidush, and you don't find a lesson that you could take in Yiras Shamayim, so you missed the point. The pasuk says, "V'yitzavenu Hashem lasas as kol achukim ochel liyiras Hashem." So from everything we have to take on a lesson that will add up to Yiras Shamayim. Again, back to the Rambam. The Rambam says, a person should always try to find in every mitzvah something that he can take kedei likef as yitzre ulataken adei yosef rev dina atoyra einen ela eitzitz meirochek magdola eitzel lataken adei yosef liyashra ma'aseh. So the question is, what can we learn a lesson in Avodas Hashem, and how can we understand these three halachas? The Rebbe says very simple, very, very simple. We have a halacha that the Alter Rebbe brings in Shulchan Aruch in Siman Dalet. If you want, we can learn it inside. It's just beautiful to look at the words. The last piece in the page here. The Alter Rebbe wrote the Shulchan Aruch and then he rewrote it a second time. We only have the first 4 chapters of it. Everything was lost. So in Siman Dalet, Sif Aleph, he says, Tiknu Chachamim little yoda b'mayim b'chol shacher. Every morning a person has to wash his hands. This really was a theme of last year's Shabbos HaGodol Rosh. Avo lenegiyas anochi ein loch. You remember? Yeah. Right. Lenegiyas anochim ein lochush. I wish I knew the sicha a year ago. I was, but the emissaries were mechavim very strong. Avo lenegiyas anochim ein lochush. If a goy, we spoke about this last year in the Shabbos HaGodol. If you have a bakery, and you have a non-religious worker, you have a restaurant, and you have a Jewish worker working there. If he comes in the morning, he touches food, that food is poison. You're not allowed to serve this food to people.
If a goy, no.
But if you have a goyish worker, no problem. What's the difference? If he's a yid, it doesn't matter. He's ochel and velas and trefes and machal Shabbos. If you have a Jewish worker, he's a waiter in the restaurant, he's a cook. He works in your bakery, in the bagel store, in the wine store, in the grocery store. When he comes in the morning, it's your obligation to go and wash him negelwasser. Otherwise, you're hurting people. You're hurting people very
People
bad.
does it do that?
You have to do it.
So.
You don't have any any Jewish, all you have is Mexicans.
Yeah.
If you have a Jewish
Only
worker,
Jewish.
but if you have one, say an Israeli that is not religious, I'm telling you, it's important to know.
Yeah.
If you're ever going to have an Israeli who's working for you, if he's not religious, you must make sure when he comes into the restaurant that he washes his hand, and you have to wash it or make sure.
Right way.
the right way. Because he's just going to wash with all the soap. That doesn't count.
You
He'll
make
say,
a
"Oh,
bracha?"
if you make with him a bracha, it's good. Why not? Because it's a mitzvah. So he made a bracha. It's very good. But if he doesn't want to make a bracha, if he doesn't want to make a bracha, it doesn't matter. As long as he washes
Tell
his
him, if you
hands.
don't watch, you don't work here.
Exactly.
No, it's part of the rule.
Right.
But
Because
not, but a Mexican worker,
a Mexican,
the law,
no,
There's no tumas.
no, he can wash with soap, and no problem. Obviously, he can wash with soap. He shouldn't.
He's strong.
Very important. Very, very important. People sometimes don't realize it. You have restaurants, they have Israeli workers, or they're good people. It's good to give business to Jews, for sure. Doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
Catering places.
Catering places. You have to, if you have workers.
Is really responsible for this aspect.
It's very important.
And I never
I
seen
think-
it, like you just said.
Publicized.
Publicized.
Yeah.
It's gotta be
Yeah,
publicized.
where they give hechsher, you they have to tell the owner.
Yeah.
This is the owner,
Yeah.
but nobody tell him.
So now you know. It's important.
No,
It's very, very
Go
important.
you and tell him to tell the others.
It's very, very important. Aval and Agiyas Hagoyim, ein lochush. If the goy touches the food, doesn't matter. Kiruach tumuzu ein mesav lishas ele beklishal kodesh v'mokim kedusha. The ruach hatuma only wants to be in the body of a Jew in a holy vessel. Shenistalka misham, when the kedusha goes out of the vessel. Shehem gufas yisrael. The Jewish bodies, when they're sleeping, when the holy neshama goes out of the vessel, when the Jew sleeps, but when the neshama returns, the tuma can't stay there; it must run away. But something stays on the hands, so therefore you wash it off by doing netilas yadayim. Beseirugin 3 times in each hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Metam zenogu lohokel benigis ketanim, or mekel with little children. Shelo yagia lechinuch lefi shigmar v'knisas nefesh shigmar v'ika knisas nefesh hakadusha ma'odam. The end and the main coming in of the neshama is biyud gimel shanim v'yoyim echad lezocher v'yud bei shanim v'yud beis lenekeva. It's at the age of 13 for a boy and 12 for a girl. That's why they are now obligated in the mitzvahs, and that's why they're obligated for and also get punished. And the beginning of the neshama coming in is when the chinuch starts. The mitzvah mila starts. Those that wash the baby from when there's the bris milah, that's mamash a big dog in kedusha. So just to summarize, for not negate to our discussion, but just so we had little children. You have from the bris until the time of Egiyah lechinuch. We say if you start washing them nagel vaser from their bris kodesh yamalai. That's up till the Gil Chinuch. It's nice if you could do it, but we're not so nizit if you didn't do it and the kids touch the food. We say because the neshama is not yet, but from when the neshama starts kicking in from the chinuch until when it mamish 100% goes in, which is by a boy at the age of 13, by a girl at the age of 12. That's when we're more nizit. After Baram Bas Mitzvah, we say that, because the neshama is 100% in this body, the body is like a vessel, is like a kli for this kedusha. At night, all the tumah tries to get in. The Oira Chaim HaKodesh, I'm moededik pshat for this. Moededik pshat is just beautiful. I'm now that I found the sicha, last year when I gave the Shabbos HaGodel, I didn't know all these Maram HaKoimas. So the Oira Chaim says, the Alter Chaim brings us a Rambam that we'll learn in a second. The Chaim says a moshel. He says there was a balabais. He had 2 buckets. One he had zevel, full of zevel, and the other one he had full of honey. He emptied out the 2 buckets. The honey, whatever, he put into little jars. But you know, honey, it's how you get out every drop of honey. There's a lot of honey still left in the walls of the right. The garbage, he also got rid of the zevel. Whatever, he poured it down the toilet bowl. But there's a little bit of zevel. He put it out. He said, "What do you think is going to happen?" Yeah, you're going to have some roaches in the barrel of zevel, but very few. The dummies are going to go there. Where are all the maggots, the bees, the flies? Where are they all going to go? The honey. The dummies, a few dummies are going to end up with the zevel. But, where he says, the Rambam says, in the first Pedic in the first halachas of Sefer Tahara, he says that the goyim are not metama. They're not metama. Look at the one piece before the last. Ein ha-goyim metama b'oil, v'dov az ha-kabbalah, v're'emem b'mechemes midden kol ha-nageh b'cholol, v'lehisker shom oil, v'chen ha-goy ein nasa tome meis, elo goy shenoga b'meis, oy shenosa elo alei kemi shaloi noga.
Does he hold that a coin can go into a...
Yeah, I'll tell you in a second. Alamazah doim elo behem shenoga b'meis, oy ilo la-meis, v'loi b'tumah b'lvad, elo b'chol ha-tumas kulum, ein ha-goyim v'loi ha-behem v'stama b'hem. The goy doesn't become tummy from any, just like a behemoth doesn't become tummy. So the Erechaim brings this Rambam. He says that's the pshat. It's funny because it's. I think here there's a beautiful leshitose, unbelievable thing. In the Gemara in Yevomis, the Gemara says it's a machlokes Shimon Bechai Chachamim. Shimon Bechai says that the goy cannot become tummy. We know that Shimon Bechai bias against the goyim. He says because it says tzoini there's a loshen posuk tzoin marisi odam atam kruim odam ve'ein goyim kruim odam. So the Jews are called odam ki yamas ba'oil kol asher ba'oil yitma, but a goy is not an odam. Only a Jew is an odam. That's what the Shacham disagree. And it's an anomaly. Usually, the halach is like Chachamim. Yochid v'Rabin. Halacha k'Rabin.
Adam Kiyakrim
Is also a Yid. So, right, also only a Yid. So, go, right, but there's a Yoitze Maklal. Over there we say a Goy Kud. Right, over there we say a Goy Kud. It's interesting. That Tosfos talks about why sometimes Adam means only a Jew, sometimes Adam means also a Goy. But Rav Shimon Bechai argues with Chachamim. He says the Goy Menat Metamach. And we paskin, the Rama paskins like the Shimon Bar Yochai, and Tosfos also paskins that way. Tosfos says because the Gemara tells us a story that Rabbi Bar Avua, the Gemara Baba Metzia, Daf Kuf Yudalad, that Rabbi Avua found Elyonovi in the cemetery of the Goyim. So there's a whole discussion. He asked him a question. He jumped in Gan Eden. His jacket started smelling so good. When he came out of Gan Eden, he sold it for a fortune, and he gave all the money to his son-in-laws that should be able to sit and learn Torah. So it's negate what we spoke about yesterday about the reach and the lavush. So he said to Elyonovi, "How could you stand in the base akforos of Goyim? You become Tomei." So Elyonovi says, "What? You don't know the Mishnayos? You don't know that Shimon ben Yochai says that a goy is not metamei? Shame on you!" So Tosfos says, "What do you mean shame on you?" Well, Chachamim disagree. Maybe passing like Chachamim. So from Tosfos we see from here that the halacha in this is like Rav Shimon bar Yochai. Rav Shimon bar Yochai is the one who says in Zoyar that by the goy touching it, nothing happens. Only when the yid touches, it happens. So the Shimon bar Yochai is l'shitose, because now right. So the Rebbe says. So from this we see a moedike yisoid. A moedike yisoid. It's you see also in Tanya. The Rebbe says we spoke about this Achar Pesach, Shvish Pesach. When a person's trying to do an avodas Hashem, and he's getting closer. That's when he gets flooded with the Yetzer Hara's type of thoughts. Why? Because it's the last punch. Yetzer Hara's trying. He sees that Kedusha is coming strong. But here's a different thing. It's not that. It's that there's nothing to get from a goy. There's nothing to get. Where's the thief going to go? Where do you think the thief is going to go at night? He's going to go break into the poor man's, the beggar's house? He's gonna break into the cardboard box over there with this homeless guy outside Penn Station? No, he's gonna go to the fancy house where he thinks there's guilt. Now, where's the Ganav gonna go in the middle of the night? Where's the Ganav gonna go? A fancy place where he thinks he could steal. The Clippers So you have a few dumb clippers. You have a few thieves that are dumb too. They're going to go to the projects. They try to steal. I said, there's nothing to steal there. There's chicken bones in the hallways. There's nothing to get. There's no juice to get.
Right.
You go to the rich man's house. You gamvazoi stuff.
Today they're taking single dollars. The committing crimes are still single dollars.
These are junkies. These are junkies.
Kedusha, so you're saying the Kedusha is...
The Kedusha is in the Jewish body. So when the Jew is asleep and the neshama goes up, the Klippa tries to get in and they wants to leech. They want to take some juice from the Kedusha. But from the Goy,
Goyish.
they're not bothering the Goy. Why should they... The Klippa got to be dumb to go into the body of the Goy. There's nothing there. There's nothing to mooch. You're trying to mooch Azoi from that beggar in a cardboard box. You're trying to mooch $1 from him. That's not the guy you're going to mooch $1 from.
They broke into parrots over here.
Not Azoi.
It's not so simple that the Yadayim that are Tameh because they didn't do Tilak Yadayim Shal Shachari. It's not so simple that it's going to Metameh or in any way cause nezek to the food. Like for instance, like in Eretz Yisrael, I never even heard that even the Idach Haridit, their Hechshirim, I never heard that. They might be that the workers should do Netilat Yadayim.
Okay.
It says over here.
But that's what it says. Look in Shulchan Aruch Harav, the Siman Dalet.
Okay, the Shulchan Aruch.
And he brings the sources from it, from the Zohar itself. So from here it's very simple. Says the Rebbe to understand the 3 halachas. The 3 halachas go like this. And there's another interesting. The Gemara, there's a long Gemara in Sukkah. The Gemara says when Mashiach comes that the Eibishter gets rid of the Yetzer Hara, and the Rishoyim and the Tzaddikim and the whole daf of Gemara. And the Gemara says over there that the Yetzer Hara is maniach u'masa'olim misgore b'dafke, he bothers the Jews. And the Gemara continues, Talmidei Chachamim yosem mekulam. He bothers the Talmidei Chacham more than anyone else. The Gemara says stories there. Talmidei Chacham bothers more than anyone else. It's the conclusion of the Gemara. So here now you understand the 3 halachas very nice. They work out beautiful. Halacha number 1. It has to be Michael Odom. Odom Adam ala Elyon. Things that are ochel, that is a shaychus to Odom, which is the neshama, which is Adam ala Elyon. Which things are ochel? Torah mitzvahs, things that karboni lachmi leishai. When the Yid does Torah mitzvahs, that gives nachas ruach lefonai shel marti v'nazar etzoni. Lachmi, that's kivyochel, the Eibish's food. So the Odom lamata, the Yid, which is Adam ala Elyon, which is doima to the Odom, to the Eibishter, the Yid, which has a tzura of Odom, ketzalmeinu of the Eibishter. So that's where that is things that are shaykh to an Odom. That's where Tuma could go. If it's dog food, the Klippa's not bothering with dog food. Things that are shaykh for a human being to eat and to elevate into Kedusha, that's where the Klippa wants to come in. But it's a Michael She'ena Shaykh, it's not human for human consumption. He doesn't bother with that. The Rebbe brings an interesting thing. There's a shit of Reb Shimon, the Bechoros, Isure Anoah, not Metama. Why? Because again, a person can't consume it in any way. It's also by Noah. He can't even bake his bread with it. Wow. So why would the Tumah want to go there? It's like dog food. That Tumah only wants to go to a Michael Adam. That's number 1. Number 2, that Michael Adam has to be in contact with water. What's so special about water? What's so special? 3 things. Number 1, Chazal say, Mayim yordim emokim gavoya l'mokim nomach. Water has a teva to come down. Torah has a teva to come down, to give. Number 2, the Gemara says, Ochav l'shosad achilosei dam. It's a bad thing. A person, when they eat, they must later drink. The drink makes that everything should go good. The circulation, the digestion, v'chulu v'chulu. A person must drink, right? Every doctor will tell you right away. Must drink.
You know the Yammanite eat and they drink only in the end.
The Rambam says.
This is why they're so skinny.
Yeah, the Rambam says. Oh, good, but you have to drink.
You have to drink.
Good. Number 3, Number 3, so the water takes the ochel and brings it up, brings it around. Good. Number 3, the teva mayim is to be medabik. You have flour, they're all over the place. But then you put the water, makes it into one. It's medabik. These are 3 things that all the idea of kedusha, to come to be mashpia, to go to makam namuch, to bring it all over, to connect. These are all a tchun of kedusha. When a yid is doing his avodas Hashem dry like toast, there's no lachluchis. It's not watery. It's not lachluchis. It's very dry. That's like it's good for the dogs. It's harder. He doesn't want to go there. He doesn't want to bother. He wants to krich b'seineim shel Yisrael, but Talmidei Chachamim yosem mikulam. Someone that's avodas Hashem is juicy. If his avodas Hashem is juicy, there's a little bit of lachluchis. That's where the Yetzer Hara is trying to get in. That's where the Yetzer Hara is trying to get in. Otherwise, the Yetzer Hara doesn't bother, doesn't care. That's why we find when you learn the Sefer Tahora, whenever it comes to liquid, the Chazal were machmer till no end. With liquid, they were very, very machmer. Because they say you can always get confused with the liquid that's coming out of the discharge of the body of the Zov and the Zova, and it's made like all the liquids. Because liquids is more shaykh to kedusha, so the klippa is more trying to go there. So therefore, there's more gzeidus chazal when it comes to liquid. Number 3,
Isn't water compared to Torah?
right? The Torah is compared to Torah, so that's over there. The klippa is kriching more. So now we come to the third halacha. It says, "Hey, this is not fair. You're telling me if I don't do any mitzvahs at all, the Yitzhak doesn't bother me. The goyim, it doesn't bother even. If I do a little bit of mitzvahs, it bothers me a little. I start doing mitzvahs, juicy. He's only on my head. Does that seem fair or unfair?"
It's reality. It's reality. It's reality.
So the Yid says,
Reward,
the greater reward. But come on, the Yid says to Eibusha, give me an eitzah. Give me an eitzah. So the Eibusha says, I'll give you the eitzah. That's the third halacha. The eitzah is, you should be connected, even if it's a shoyrish cotton. But you should be connected. We're connected to what? There's always a part of the Yid that could not be Makabel Tumah. There is the word that's brought in Hayom Yom from the Rabbeim Chabad, that the Moide Anya V'Yid, even before Nagovaser, why? Because it doesn't become Tomei. All the tumas in the world cannot be Metame, the Moide Anya V'Yid. The Yid can be missing this, that. The Moide Ani is Alam Gans, is always complete. And like the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, that even a culture bekalim could be moise and nefesh. A culture bekalim could be moise and nefesh. So there is a part. In other words, when there'll be tumas avodah zara, and it'll tell the culture bekalim, do you want to convert? He'll have Yisurei Movis, he'll die, but he doesn't want to convert. Because that touches the etzem of the neshama, and therefore he is not interested. So when a Yid is mechuber, that all his avodas Hashem is connected to the pnimius haneshama, it's the pnimius Hashem is shining in every detail of his avodas Hashem. It's mechuber at least kedei shorish cotton to the etzem haneshama. So then it will not be makabel tuma. And this is really what the Mishnah says. The Mishnah Mefureshes in Avos Peri Gimel Mishnah Yud Zayin, that the Ilon Shanof of Merotim V'Sherosh of Meruvim, there's strong roots. Afilu Kol Ruches Sheboilim Boz V'Noishvus Boy Emaziz and Oisamim Koimai, that all the winds of the world can come, the tree is not going to move. In other words, even though tree, now obviously what's under the ground is not going to move, but even the part that's over the ground is not going to, because it's connected to the strong shoyrish. So when a Yid does his avodas Hashem and it's connected to the shoyrish of his neshama, and the neshama is shining in everything I'm doing, it can't be makabel tumah. My avodah can't be makabel tumah. So to summarize, we have 3 halachas in tumas ochel, and what it means, and mainly what it means in avodas Hashem. Number one, it only becomes tamei if it's royal achilas adam, if it's good for human consumption. Number two, it has to have a hechsher from the liquid. Number three, it has to be disconnected. If it was connected to the sherish cotton, can be makabel tumah. And what does this mean in avodas Hashem? Three things. Again, the introduction to this whole thing is that the tumah only wants to go in a kli kedusha, like the Ohr Chaim says. You take out two buckets, empty buckets. One had honey and one had zevel. They're kriching in the honey one. The zevel, the dummies go there. When you have a ganav that's breaking into a home, he's trying to break in the fancy house, the broken down house, and the town. He's not going there, the ganav, at least the smart ganav. He's not going there. Same thing here. The klippa mainly go to the guf kodesh, which is a yid. Where they smell kedusha, they want to mooch. So therefore, there's three places, three conditions in tumas ochel. Michael Adam. Adam is Adam al Elyon. It's human food, not dog food. That's where the klippa want to get their chayes. And it's what kind of food? It had water in it, which water has the mila of kedusha. It glues things together. It brings things from a high place to a low place. That's kedusha. Yitush, we say, is the ultimate of klippa. It's machnes ve'ene moitze. It can take, it can't give. The ultimate of kedusha is to give. Ultimate of klippa is to take. So number three, this problem of tumah only if a yid is disconnected. If a yid is connected, Mefrat is connected to his neshama, and Mefrat is connected to the neshama aklolis of all the neshamas.
Can't touch it.
Then you can't touch him. You can't touch him. But you remember the story I told you with the Mendel Haradok, that he had this, he had a chosid, the moyo, and he always told him, I want you to be very careful. The sichos of tumah are coming after you. I want you to be very, very careful. And it was at night. Someone called him. They said, tomorrow morning is a bris milah. There's some town. You want to come? He didn't ask where are we going. Which town? What's that? And he'd been living there for years. Which town? He didn't ask. Yeah, he jumped. He took his thing. He jumped. When he was on the road, he was thinking, where are we going here? I don't recognize this place. We're in a forest somewhere. Where are we going? Talking to the wall. They're not answering him. Finally get to the middle of the forest. It's a house. It's a tumult. It's lebedik. They sing Tamid Chachamim are walking around. They bring him into a room, and there's a Vachnach. They're celebrating a Vachnach. So finally they bring him into the room where there is the mother and the baby to check the baby. And while he's checking the baby, the woman whispers to him, she says, I'm a Jewish girl. You should know all the people here is all koyach that tumah. They're all tumah.
All tumah.
And I was kidnapped here, and I'm never going to get out of here. But you're going to stay. If you want to go out of here alive, I give you one eitzah. Don't taste a single thing. Don't taste anything. Don't eat or drink anything in this place. And she said it quietly, and he heard everything. He shook his head. Checked the baby. He said, yeah, we can do the bris. We're going to wait for Alois HaShachar. Meantime, they took him out. There was a Suda, and they were talking to very Toida. And they said, no. He said, no, he's Yoshe B'Tainis. Okay, they said, okay, tomorrow after Alois HaShachar, already will be...
Continue the time.
And after the bris, they sat down, got through this mitzvah, and there was people saying divrei toiras, and he's not eating. I said, what happened? Yesterday you were Yoshe B'Tainis. What's today? Every excuse. He said he's very sick and he can't eat, and he really wants to be again Yoshe B'Tainis. They tried. They begged him to eat, but he refused. After the bris, he said, no, take me home. They said, okay, we'll take you home. He got home. So when he came home, he went running to the house of the Mendel Haradok, and at the door, the Shamash was standing. He said, Sule Tome. He said, you're a Tome, you can't come in here.
And he ate.
He begged, he cried, he sent shluchim. Finally, the Mendel was masking to see him, and the Mendel said, I told you to be careful. What kind of thing in the middle of the night you jump onto, you didn't ask any questions. I told you to be careful. The koiches hatuma are after you. So I said, but Rebbe, what should I do now? He said, now there's only one way you're gonna be saved. There's only one way to save you. They're gonna call you again, and you'll go again.
But he didn't eat anything.
He didn't eat, but still something. He was there.
Smell.
He was something rubbed off.
The clippers there.
In the air.
The clippers.
So he didn't get stuck there.
Yeah.
He didn't get stuck there.
Airborne illness.
But something, I guess, didn't rub off. So when you're there, you have to. They'll get invite you another time. You go. And however, you have to tell them that they are bottle mavutal ka'afra da'ara. You have to tell them that they're bottle. They're nothing. They're bottle.
For the people.
Yeah. And if you stand strong, everything the Eibusher will be with you and you'll come back safely. Short time later, he gets a knock on the door again. They say, the family over there, they would like to they should visit us again. No problem. He jumps in the wagon. Yes, no questions. He knows already. He's going to somewhere. Again, in the middle of the forest, the same house. Comes in, and again, the table was set, and there was a person with a long beard, and they're sitting and talking to the and he comes in, and they say, oh, the Choshev and Moyel is there, Talmud Chochem, come, sits down, we want to talk a little on learning. So he says, what? And learning? You guys are tumas, you're garnish, you're nothing, you're bottle, ka'afra da'ara, you're not worth anything. Wow. They said, who? He said, surround him. Show him what we can do. The fireworks started. They opened up their mouth and the fire was coming out. It was almost like, he felt it. He felt his hair was burning off it. But it didn't hurt him.
He stayed strong.
But he said he didn't care. He closed his eyes. He says, you're a bottle, you're nothing, you have no power, you have nothing. And they kept on retching it up, doing all kinds of tricks that were incredibly scary. But he noticed something. Even though the tricks kept on going up, but the people were going down. The performers there's all kinds of things were happening. The walls, things were crawling on the walls. But the chevraya were getting less and less. So he realized it was something. Yeah. So finally, this the leader said, "Why are you so chutzpahdik to us? Don't you see how much power we have?" He said, "I am connected to the tzaddik emes, the Mendel of Haradok. So I couldn't care less about you guys." So he said, "Oh, let's see." He told his men, "Go into the other room. I have their books with names of all the tzaddikim. If your tzaddik is in my book, you're never going out of here alive. You're staying with us forever and ever." So they brought out the books and they were looking. They have to find the name of the Mendel Haradok. They're looking. They can't find the name. They say, "I can't believe it." He says, "I have every tzaddik here. How can I not find the name?" Fisya, he can't find the name. He says, "There's nothing I can do for you. Your Rebbe is not in my book. You can go." And he went and came back. And the Mendel was standing at the window, smiling, and he let him in. Tzemach Tzedek told the story once to Chassidim, and he said that the Bazar you have to light. He once walked out and he heard they were talking. He said, "What are you talking about?" They said, "We're talking about a Mendel Haradok." So they talk about a Mendel Haradok. He was a tzaddik emes. Therefore, you have to light candles when you talk about him. But that's the story. That's the story of the sicha that we're learning here tonight. The koiches hatuma, they like to krich in a place where there's kedusha. In a place where there's no kedusha, they want a dafke ayid, which is a oived Hashem. B'shas is doing avodas Hashem. That's when they're trying to get the most juice. There's recently the Rosh Hashiva in Miami, Rabbi Shapiro, Label Shapiro, tremendous Talmud Chochem, and he was a 770 for several years. He learned Sabocher, and he also worked on the sichos. He's sending out messages on WhatsApp. Apparently, he sends it once a few days. He remembers something, he sends it out. And so they interviewed him for the Kvar Chabad magazine for Pesach. A few remarkable stories. One of them was Simchas Torah, and the Rebbe was verbringen before some was Torah Tavshach of Gimel, and he says all of a sudden the Rebbe said, the Ayid is already after the whole avoid of Elul and Rosh Hashanah. Said he made Shuvah, Yom Kippur, the 4 days, and Mamish, the Rebbe was mafled the whole avodah, and then he wants to go to Ataroisa. He wants to verbringen. He wants a Chassidish word. It's a word from the Rebbe. And all of a sudden the Rebbe raised his voice. Ota dosh state the Yetzirah. The Yetzirah is standing right here. And the Yetzirah says, you want to go to Ataroisa? No problem. But I'm going with you. You want to go say a word from the Rebbe? No problem. But I'm going with you. I'm coming with you. You want to verbring? No problem. But I'm verbringing with you. And the Rebbe gave it like a bang. And the Rebbe started to cry. He says that it was unbelievable. He says it was hard not to have like a feeling of Pasha Tshuva Iloh. At that time, the Rebbe, Anashoma that Sidlus, Anashoma Klolis, the Rebbe is crying that what's up shot that the Yetzirah is trying to go with me to Fabring? What does it mean? My brother is a shliach, so he has to bring a moil from time to time. He speaks Russian. Who's going to go to Uliana to moil? As a moil, Eretz Yisrael, he speaks Russian. He's not a Chabadnik. Very fine fellow. But he stays in my brother's house a few days, so he told my brother, a few kids, he said that he has a few kids of mediocre Kishroinus, he's sending them to Chabad schools. Why? He knows they're going to be from Yidden that way. He wants them to go Chabad. He says that one son is very talented. He's sending him to Ponevezh. Why? He says the problem with Chabad, they teach the boys they have to learn Torah Lishma. How much a kid learn Torah Lishma? Not Torah Lishma. He says he wants to send him to yeshiva where he's going to feel he's going to be the next Gadol Hador. If he's going to think he's going to be the next Gadol Hador, then he's going to learn Kedaboy. So okay, I'm just telling you what this guy tells my brother. I'm not saying if I agree or disagree. You probably imagine what I think about this. But the ikad is, that's the pshat. That's the pshat that the Yetzirah says, I want to go with you to the Fabrengen. I want to learn a Vort Torah with you. What does it mean, I want to learn with you? It means that a person wants to learn Torah with bittul, like matzah. He wants to shake off the Yetzirah. Yetzirah says, no. But if you let me come with you, that you'll learn Torah with a little bit of gaiva, or you do this mitzvah with a little bit of yeshus, I'll make it easier for you. Because he wants to convince the Yid to let him come with, because he wants to suck all the juice out. And then he'll spit out the Yid. But first he wants to get involved. That's the Indian of Klippa. So therefore, he says to the Yid, I want to come to the Fabr, I want to learn Torah with you. So that's the Nakuda of the Yetzirah always, where the Klippa wants to come where there's a lot of juice. The Klippa wants to come where there's a lot of juice. That's why this is the 3 halachas. The dafke, ochel, the tzeroy lachilas odam, which is good for human consumption. Dafke was hechsher lakabel, because it has water, number 2. Because water is medabas a kedusha, it's medabik things. And nafke, it's not connected b'chdei shoresh cotton. The Yetzirah swoops in and tries to get the juice. And what's the eitzah? The eitzah is to be connected to the etzem neshama and to the tzaddik, which is the etzem of the etzem neshama. And then, when you can, like the story of the chosid of Remendel and Adok, when you're connected to the etzem neshama and to the tzaddik that's etzem neshama, then the klippas can't get any juice.